How we doing, YouTube family, man? How we doing, Anchor family, Facebook Live family, Be Yourself family? How we doing, man? This is the host of Seeking Knowledge Podcast. It's the Marcus, and man, I have this guest on. I met her in a podcast group, I believe. I believe I made a post, and she reached out to me like, man, when I say this young lady is gifted for her age, you know what, man? I'm just going to be quiet, man, because I can talk a lot. I'm just gonna let difference get the flow, man. Tell them a little bit about yourself and like why you decided to title this "Beat the Odds."
All right. Well, first of all, what's up, Demarcus? Good morning to
What's up
you, and
with it?
shout out to everybody out there watching your dope podcast. Happy to be here,
Appreciate it.
sharing my story. Shout out to everybody that's listening and watching. Make sure you guys hit that boy subscribe button for your girl and show them some love,
Appreciate it.
and show me some love on my YouTube channel as well as Different
Oh,
Worldwide T. Come and learn. But yeah,
okay.
just getting right into it about myself. Yes, my name is Different, spelled Diferent. I'm from Houston, Texas, holding it down for Texas, and I'm 32 years old. I guess getting right into it about myself. I had a pretty good childhood coming up until the time I was around 11. And then me and
Mm,
my family, we ended up homeless on the streets for about 3 years. And there where we lived from literally pillow to post, sleeping everywhere from, cars, parks, and bus stops,
oh,
shelters, even
been
at one
there.
point slept in a crack house. And it wasn't until I was the age of 14 where, I had a family member who was being spiteful and secretly placed me in foster care and didn't tell the rest of my family member where it was. And so the first 6 months of me being there, I tried to come home. However, I found out through another foster kid that if I stayed and in the state of Texas, they pay for your tuition to college. And so shit, a light bulb went off in my head, and I, just decided to use my street smarts to elevate my book smart because that was the only way I figured I was gonna make it up out of there. And so I made that bold decision to, spend the next 4 years of my life in foster care, being shuffled around in that system. And, it was a blessing in disguise because once I graduated, I ended up going to, college. Shout out to the Bearcats, Sam Houston State University. And even within that little 4 year stint, it was a eye opening experience. I got to do so many things that God set up for me, to and play for me today. I got the opportunity to study abroad, and I went to
Okay.
South Korea and Kim Young University. And within that opportunity, I ended up traveling to 8 other countries, and that's where my travel bug was planted. And 10 years later, I've been to travel to just about 50 countries. I also had the opportunity to start my own student organization titled Pay It Forward. And that's where my motivational speaking bug was planted. And so there we would talk about different, we would go to different high schools and encourage the high school kids to further their education and me sharing my story. Kids would come up to me afterwards and would say, well, wow, I'm going through the same thing. Well, I didn't know the state of Texas was paying. I'm going to go to college now. And so that's where my motivational speaking bug was planted. And even after, I ended up coming out, with bachelor's degree in international business. I have two minors in economics and business communication, as well as I have my master's degree in entrepreneurship. A couple of years later, I got my real
That's
estate
dope.
license. Last year, I got my insurance license. And so, now I'm just doing the damn thing. All graces
That's
and glory it belongs and goes to God because He is the one who pulled me through it. But all those notches and accomplishments under my belt to market, it really didn't mean a damn thing, if I was still having, internal issues. And like
right.
I said, I come up from, well, and said it first, but I came up from a chaotic background, and for me,
Me
chaos was
too.
normal for me. I don't know if that makes sense, but chaos,
It
when you
makes
come up
sense.
from that background, it's just normal to you. And so when I got placed in foster care, it was a shift change from a paradigm shift, if you will. I was
I
actually placed
already.
in good foster homes and actually black foster homes who were living in nice houses, went to school, had degrees. And for me, it was just a complete new world. And in my mind, I always taught myself, nothing good ever lasts long. And so eventually it was going to come to an end. And so, just decided, I'm going to be the captain of my own ship and decide where to sink it. And so I would become self sabotage and then, mess up every good little thing that came my way. And that's how
Exactly.
it was for me, through foster care, college, and on into my adulthood when I transitioned, and to the point to where it was affecting me career wise. And so it even I had
Mm,
a incident that that made me have to look at myself and face the ugly truth. I had a meeting with a well-connected person, and letting these negative thoughts and demons in the back of my head get to me, telling
Mm,
me, "Oh, you're not good enough. They just taking pity on you because you were in foster care. You too country. You too ghetto. You talk too fast." And voices like that just got to me, and um, I ended up showing up late to the meeting on purpose, and it left a sour taste in their mouth. And from then on,
mm,
I had to face that ugly truth and look myself in the mirror and face the ugly truth that whatever I went through in my past, it was out of my control. It wasn't my fault. But as an adult, it's on me to go and fix that problem and that issue. And so it took me, facing that ugly truth and saying, bump that bullshit that people say black people don't do therapy. And, I took my ass to therapy
shit.
to fix my issues, or work on my issues, if you will. Nothing is gonna be fixed overnight. It's a process, and so that's just what I've been doing, and I'm so glad and grateful to God because out of it, I started my own business. I wrote a book, and so I'm not only a motivational speaker now. I'm an author, small time
Man,
business owner, and so that's what getting your mental health in check can do for you. And so that's why with my business, Third Eye Entertainment LLC, we're a business that strives to bring social awareness to society through our products and services. But we educate, inspire, and entertain all at once. But one of our main goals and objectives is pushing for mental health, wellness, and advocacy, especially in the Black community, with
I
everybody
do
there,
agree.
especially with our people. Because we've been taught, what goes on in this house stays in this house, if you will. Most of us have.
Exactly.
And so it doesn't we don't realize how bad it affects us and shapes us until, we projected it on others. And I never understood that saying hurt people until
Hurt
I got
people.
up in age, realized that what I was doing was hurting others because of what I was going through and it wasn't their fault. And so in
Been
doing
there, done
that,
that.
yeah, that's good too, man. And I applaud you for that. And anybody out there that's listening and watching, I wanted to sidetrack and just let you guys know that whatever you guys are going through, it is okay to not
Beat
be
the
okay.
odds.
But don't ever sit there and not be okay. Go get help. Whatever that case may be, talking with a therapist, a family member, a friend, picking up a hobby, getting involved in your community, mending broken bridges, cutting people off, whatever it is that you have to do to keep your mental health in check and not going off the deep end and possibly taking anybody with you, do that shit. I always give out mental health resources, so I'm gonna do the same with you guys. If you know or if
Go
you need
ahead.
these mental health resources, please feel free to share it with anybody that may need it. The crisis hotline number is 1-800-273-8255, or you can call or text 988 or text 741-741. Or for those that prefer to go online, you can visit mentalhealthishealth.us, or you can visit 988lifeline.org. And for those that are outside the US that be watching your boys podcast, you guys can visit incounseling.com. Again, incounseling is spelled ENCOUNSELING. And although I am sharing these resources with you guys, just remember it's on you to do your own homework and your own research to find what works best for you, because at the end of the day, you are the captain of your own ship and you decide
Shit.
where to navigate the waters. And so going off the deep end and taking anybody with you is not an option and it's not worth it. And remember that you
I
guys,
think,
you are not alone, and you too, you will get through this. So this too shall pass. Okay. And so
man,
I
like,
don't want to get
mm,
somber with it, but I definitely always want to make sure I share that because it can save somebody's life. I truly
uh,
believe that. And so now getting back into it.
nah, that's
You know,
fine. Good. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And so, being in therapy, talking with a therapist, they encouraged me to get back into something I love and it keeps me focused. And when I was in foster care, writing, poetry and journaling, it got me through it. And so I started doing that. And during the pandemic, we're stuck in the house, mind you, and I can't
Right.
travel anymore. And so that adds into my depression. And May 25th, 2020 happens, the day that George Floyd he dies on live stream. Everybody watches this, and we're both from Houston. He's from Third Ward. I'm from Fifth Ward. And so when they were
Mm,
marching and protesting in his name, of course I wanted to be involved. I wanted my voice to be heard. However, when it all came down to it, empathy. I couldn't because, I wanted my voice to be heard long after that protest was gone. I wanted it to be heard long after I'm gone. And so going home, talking, praying, meditating, and asking God, what is it that I can do to, have my voice being heard that's going to catch people's attention. And that's also going to put me on the map. What can I do? And so, talking, asking for the spirit of discernment, and then, he would show me little bitty pieces of here and there, what asking these questions, what if, this happened to you people, your people instead of ours. And I started writing the manuscript in June 2020, and by December
Mm,
2020, it was done. I ran it by my lawyer. She gave it high praises and then asked that question that rocked my world. She's like, "What's the
yes.
name of your business?" I was like, "Huh? What? What?" I kept telling her my name of my book, "What If: A Controversial Paradigm Shift." And she was like, "No, I don't think you understand. If you're going to sell a product to the public, you got to have a LLC." And so that's
Cut
one
you
thing
off.
about life, Demarcus. When you think you know it all, and I never ever claimed to know it all, but no
Mm-mm.
matter how many degrees you have under your belt, it's you still a student of learning. You're never too old to keep learning and keep growing. And
I
so,
agree.
don't think that because I got all these degrees under my belt, I know everything. I'm just that girl. I am that girl. You know what I'm saying? But I
Yeah,
ain't.
you
You
is.
know,
So may I ask you something?
I ain't God. I ain't walking on water yet. So or
Right.
no time soon.
But
So
may I ask you
it's
something? It's
always
different.
yes, ma'am. Excuse me, yes, sir. So it's
It's
always
all
room to
good.
grow
Nah,
and learn.
I'm loving your story. Like, man, you beat the odds. Like, you overcame a lot. I went through foster care, and I was eight
Yeah.
years old to 18 when I went through foster care, and I'm gonna be real. It
Wow.
was some fucked up shit that went on in there. And
Yeah,
my
you been
question
there
is to
longer than me,
you,
man. I only did 4 years. Shit.
man, I did 10 years in that hellhole. But my
Man,
question is to you, like, I
what's
know you
up?
went through foster care, you was homeless. Like,
Mhm.
what was the sport that? What was the what a night you to just say, I'm fuck it, I'm finna just go all in, I'm finna beat the odds no matter what I'm going against. I'm just finna say, do what
Well,
I need to
shit,
do
my
to better
situation,
myself.
man. As a 11-year-old girl on the streets, man, I had to fend for myself. I was, how you say, overly developed. I had started developing at a young age, and
Mm,
men on these streets, they're monsters. They don't care how old you are. They will still approach you. Some of these men knew that I was underage and was still, trying to holler at me, if you will. One time I was walking to
fucking
school.
perverts.
Yeah, and dude was following me. He kept asking me questions. You need a ride? You need a ride, baby girl? And I just kept ignoring him. And one day, and when no, I was just, and I had like maybe like half a quarter mile to go, and and it was a corner store that was open. And so what I did, I made a beeline to the corner store and went and bought me a little razor, whatever, and came out with it, and I just felt so much comfortable with it because if any guy was gonna try to snatch me or try to take advantage of me, they was gonna have to put in some work. I wasn't, even though I was a small woman or a small statue, um, I had to be tough. Coming up in the environment, people would always try to play with me and take advantage of me, and so I just had to get tough on them and tighten up. And so when that opportunity came for me to, go into foster care, I know it sounds crazy seeing it as an opportunity, but it was just escape from that chaotic environment that I came up from, sleeping in crack houses. I had to sleep with one eye open, literally, and my hand under a pillow with a knife, sleeping next to, my family member. It was very, very hard. And that situation just, and one night I was sleeping in the car, with my mom in the park, and I just looked up to the sky and said, God, my life ain't gonna be like this forever. And I'm gonna do whatever I have to do to get up out this
Mm,
situation. And I'm only 5'1", I'm not no model. I don't have no long legs. And so I can't, I had to find, my avenue and what worked it for me. And so when you don't have any talents, you don't have any gimmicks, education will be your fallback plan. And so that was my education. And when that opportunity came, like I said, a light bulb went off in my head and I ran with it. And it wasn't like it was the best, but it was way better than what I was with. Well, I went through some BS too, some bullshit too, in foster care, being shuffled around 5 different foster
yeah,
homes, different schools, had to make up different personalities and different, lies and telling these people, what my
right.
parents are, why this my sister, but she don't look like me, you go through that in foster care. And then, when you come out, you don't really know who you are. Me, I didn't have anybody like that. My family, we were,
Me.
basically, they felt like I was the institutionalizer, had came, uh, um, I was with the white folks. They would say, "Oh, you been with the white folks?" No, I was with black folks that was educated and had substance.
Mm,
And I seen that and I knew that that's what I wanted. I didn't want to struggle anymore and live paycheck to paycheck. So that's why I decided to stay and let it grow on me and go to college, and that's what I did. And I say anybody out there that's in that situation or going through a similar thing, you pray on it, meditate, and let God lead you into the way that you're supposed to. Even though at times it may not seem like it's the best, or you don't understand why you're going through what you're going through. There's a reason for your season, and what don't break you will make you. And so just let that simmer and
exactly.
think about that. And whatever you going through, you shall get through it. It shall pass. Nothing lasts for long. And just you have to keep telling yourself that it's a mind game more than anything. It's just all
It
about that mental.
is.
And
It
so, and
is,
even
and
now, even in this time, don't get it twisted. I'm still, I wouldn't say struggling, but still going through, and just like everybody else, I'm just a work in progress. Right now where I'm at with my mental health, I won't say it's the best of the best, but at times I do get down. 2021 was the hardest year of my
mm,
entire life. I lost 5 people in my family back to back to back, with my
mm,
mother being the last person. She died in my arms the day after Christmas. And so,
uh, you know
2022,
what?
I remember me.
Sorry to hear that, cause like I lost my mama like a few years ago, and I had to watch them pull the plug on her. Like I literally was in the hospital, had to watch them pull the plug. So I feel your
Yeah.
pain, but man, you overcame a lot, man. But I tell people
Oh,
when you
yeah.
go through pain like that, you use it as fuel, you use it as fuel to your fire.
Hmm.
Like turn your pain to your passion, your passion to your purpose.
Yep. And perfect trend becomes a profit. And so
I'm
that's
telling
all it
you,
is. And with that, I had to uh, go ahead and get like a plan of action with grieving immediately, and I call it healthy grieving. And so that's just what I did with 2022. Stay with my therapist. Had to stay busy. Definitely
hmm
at times, grieved when I needed to, and I still am grieving. And one
nothing
thing
wrong with it.
about when you decide to get your mental health in check, I want everybody to know that's listening. Therapy is not a quick fix. One session sit in thing. Some people think, oh, I
Mm-mm.
go to this session, I talk about this, that, and then I'll be okay. No, I want you guys to understand and realize that when you guys decide to get your mental health in check and keep it in check, it's going to be an ongoing lifetime commitment. And that's something you're going to have to be serious about and sticking with it. It's just like when a person, who's overweight decides to lose that weight and keep it off, that's a lifetime commitment that they have to stick to and can't go back on. And so when you're going into therapy, you have to go into it open minded, open hearted, and understanding that this is not going to be a quick fix. It's going to be a work in progress and a continuous progress that you'll have to do constantly, because you're forever, as long as you're alive, you're going to have to go through trials and tribulations. And so,
That's
uh,
facts.
and so once you start it, you can't stop it, basically. And so
So,
that's just where I'm at with it, as well as with my book, What If a Controversial Paradigm Shift. um, that was a book that I've written. Like I said, when George Floyd happened, I'd asked all these questions. What if this,
mm,
like, for instance, well, I'll give you the synopsis of what my book is written about. It's written to encourage and inform thought-provoking conversations about injustice and systemic racism in America. And I've done this through graphic and provocative illustrations. And so be advised that it is sensitive content and it's intended for mature audiences. So for those who can't take this type of heat, I still
get out
encourage
the
you guys to
kitchen.
come on into no, I encourage you to come on in into the kitchen. Just get your fire blanket. Shit, that's the point of it all, is to
I
have this
like that.
conversation that needs to be had, man. Because
Yeah, I agree.
when it comes to systemic racism, most people like to sweep it under the rug or pretend that it's not there. And so the way
I
that I
used to do
set
that
my
a
book,
lot.
yeah, me too, just so I can make others happy, but not anymore. And so the way that I've set this book up is through with the graphic illustrations that are, I feel it's going to be controversial. That's the point. That's why I have it titled in the my title, A Controversial Paradigm Shift. Um, but the way that I have it set up is four main paradigm shifts. We have historical, political, precedent, and hypothetical. And for instance, with historical, I asked the question right off the bat. The first question I ask is, what if in 1619 Africans started dealing in illegal slave trading, whereas they kidnapped millions of English men, women, and children and brought them on slave ships to America?
Mm,
And in the illustrations, you'll see, white slaves in shackles and chains, some jumping from the ship, some being whipped by black slave ship owners. And it's basically a race role reversal, just asking the questions. What if this happened to your people instead of ours? What if this was still happening to your people instead of ours? Then how would you feel? Would you be okay? Would it be justified? Would you turn a blind eye to it? And so that's the point of the book, is just to get that conversation rolling. And the reason why I chose the controversial route is because I've noticed over time that controversy seems, people like controversy. It gets their attention much quicker than trying to do
Hmm.
goodness of things, going about it the right way. And so the controversial route is that attention grabber. And once I have your attention, come on to the table and listen to what I have to say. It's not just about pissing off white folks and rubbing people the wrong way or trying to start a race war. It's more so about coming together to that table and having these conversations and creating unity, taking accountability and acknowledgement, and
Exactly.
trying to come up with ways to create. Because quite honestly, I'm tired of talking about systemic racism. I want to talk about systemic change. And so when we have these conversations, it's my theory that when we have these conversations and constant and consistently, then over time, that's where we can see systemic change start to take place. And I understand. I realize that it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen
Right.
with just one person. It's going to take a whole, basically the whole community, everybody coming together and doing this. Before the pandemic, I worked with the Census Bureau, and so I've seen over time to where enough people complained about the issue and came together. They were able to bring forth change, and so that's how I know in this theory, this hypothesis, it can be proven true. And so as far as my target audience, I look to them to help me spread the word because this is a niche product. A lot of people aren't going to, feel that, this is, the right thing to do, and so or shy away from it. So, um, one thing I learned from 45 is that you go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. And so this man, 4 years being in the
Come
office,
on now.
he caused all kinds of chaotic, BS bullshit, if you will. And towards the
Shit.
end, he still had people riding for him. He still had 75 million adult Americans riding for this man. That's 25% of the adult U.S. population still riding for him, no matter what. So that shows to me, no matter who you are, what you out there putting into the universe, or what you promoting to the public, it's going to
It's
be
gonna
people
come
out
back.
there that condone what you're doing. And so they don't condone your bullshit. And so do you and go where you celebrate it, not where you tolerate it. And so that's just what I'm doing with this book. This is why,
Mm.
I coming to you on your podcast talking with you about it, because you seeking the knowledge. Here I am giving it to you guys. And
I'm
so
telling you.
like I
And
said,
look,
so you go where you celebrate and not where you tolerate it.
I'm glad you said that about the seek analysis. I'm looking at your LLC. It's a
Mm,
third eye entertainment. Like, what made?
hmm
How did that idea birth? Like, because when I think about the third eye, I think about the penile gland. And but what made you come up with that
Well,
LLC?
okay, I
Because
can
that's
talk a little.
different.
I'm glad you asked about that because a lot of when if you don't ask, you won't know. But yes. So for me, I'm very big into chakra healing and meditation and praying and learning
Yes,
about
me
astral
too.
projection. And so, third eye, it comes from, your third eye chakra. For me, when you're spiritually in tune with your heart and your mind, you're able to do things and see things more clear. And so, for
I
me, I
say,
pray, I meditate, I do chakra cleansing. You know, uh, I used to be afraid to talk about it, coming up in the deep fried South. You
mm,
mention anything about, the spiritual world, astral projection, or, anything out of the source, people automatically think, you into witchcraft or,
crazy,
voodoo and
yeah.
stuff. And I'm not here knocking nobody's belief, whatever they believe in, that's them. But, you black women in the South, we often get that tag put on us that we into, spiritual wickedness if we believe in that type of stuff. And I don't, for the record, I believe in, the light, if you will, and just, pushing for, goodness. And so getting your chakras, cleansed and unblocked, it can help
Come
you
on
achieve your
now.
goals.
Yes.
And so with your third eye, when it comes to that, in order to, see the divine, or be given, a clear sight of what it is that you're supposed to be doing in life, you have to have your third eye cleared. And so that's what, I came up with Third Eye Entertainment LLC. Because when,
And
you
that's
got your
good
heart
because
in tune with your mind and you got it all together and all right, you can get your shit together and get go after what it is that you want in life. And that's why I have my motto, or my motto. or mantra, excuse me, is manifest, plan, and prepare. And so what that means is whatever it is in life that you are feeling that you're destined for, believing that you have it's meant for you, you have to manifest, plan, and prepare for it. The manifestation part comes from removing all the negative doubts in your minds and replacing it with, positive affirmations and
Formations,
speaking it
yeah.
into existence and letting nobody else, tell you different. The planning part comes from, where you have to get it out on paper, write out the plan of action on how you're going to achieve your goals, write a second plan, a backup plan, an exit strategy.
That them
You
goes
can't plan
down.
for the unknown, but you can expect that the unknown is coming, and understand that whatever that comes your way, this too shall pass. Now, as far as the preparation side of it goes, I mean fixing yourself from the inside out, internal preparation. So that means getting your mental health in check, getting your physical health in check, getting your money right, cutting people off that mean well, mending those broken
Exactly.
bridges. So whatever it is that you're manifesting and planning for, when it comes to you, you will be prepared for it. You will know how to handle it. You won't squander it. That's what I did, in my early 20s. I had a lot of good opportunities and good things coming my way, but I didn't know how to handle it. And I didn't believe that, it was too good to be true. So like I said, I'm the captain of that ship. And so I would squander it. And in my 30s, now I'm taking a different approach to it. I'm manifesting, I'm planning and preparing for the goodness that's about to come into my life. When I arrive and make it big and, this book hits, and I'm on these TV shows, I'll be the
I'm
manifest and plan and prepared for it, and so manifest, plan, and prepare for what it is that you want in life, and it will surely come to you.
man. I like the whole story behind the third eye entertainment, man, because
Mhm.
that's deep, man. Like you
Thank
overcame a
you.
lot, man. You beat the odds. You beat the odds, man. And I'm glad that you have decided to come on and share your
Mhm,
story. So I just wanted to ask you this. So I guess being homeless and then I'm gonna say foster care,
mhm,
because I know my foster care experience, it was living hell. And that's what really made me get out here and try to wanted to better myself. Like, but even though I started hanging around the wrong crowd, but
mhm.
I was in school though. I finished school. Don't let me say that. When I was in foster care and I was hanging in the streets, I did finish school. I just like said fuck college, it wasn't for me. But I'm a high school
Yeah.
graduate. So I want to say to you, so with your foster family, you had like the support you need to
Um,
elevate. See, me, I didn't have the support.
Not really. I mean, it was, well, I'll take that back. The last foster parent I had, she was the one helping me. I filling out the application. She actually took me to the Saturdays at Sam. But like I said, when it came down to it, I panicked and I didn't really know if she was gonna be there for me after I graduated, because she was already expecting another foster kid to come in. And so what I did was I
Mm,
sabotaged it. I started acting crazy. I started doing I even was smoking weed in the house and got kicked out because
we been
I
there,
didn't
done
know how to
that.
I didn't know how to ask her if she was still gonna be there for me, or and so I sabotaged it, and we cool now. It wasn't until after I graduated from college and I had called her and apologized to her, but we're one of the best of friends now. She's
That's
been knowing me since
good.
I was 17 years old, and so she's one of the only foster parent that I still contact. Everybody else, fuck them. But
I'm gonna
there
be
there
real.
was
Like, look,
there was
I'm
there
gonna be
was
this like that's crazy
yeah.
because my foster mama she don't fuck with me no more because I published my first book called From the Hood to the Church, and I
Hmm.
just shared my story and put what I went through and how it is. Like, I ain't like I make shit up. It's the truth.
Oh,
And
that's
you
the
cut
truth.
me off because I
Yeah.
exposed what I went through in foster care because I want to help somebody else. Well, let it be
Hmm.
like that. Then I'm not losing no sleep. I'm gonna continue to strive, continue to push, but
Amen,
sometimes
brother.
the truth need to be heard. Sometimes the truth
You
need to be
right.
heard because your story, what you went through, is not just for you. It's to help somebody else overcome what they going through. And a lot of people don't see it like that. So if she don't want to be in my life no more, and wish she haven't been in my life over the last maybe 8 9 years over some a book that I published, like I
Hmm.
said, fuck her, and I'm gonna keep pushing
For sure.
and straight up.
That whatever they what look, listen, and not just to you, I'm telling you to the Marcus, but whatever you are going through and whatever you went through, it was out of your control. It wasn't your fault, but it's on you to fix, man. As an adult, don't expect
Right.
anybody to heal your heart, your broken heart. It's on
Mm,
you to fix it. So if you expressing yourself and you getting it off your chest by any way that you can, you do that, man. And if don't nobody like it or they got a problem with it, fuck them. I'm going through the same thing with some of my family members. They
me
feeling
too.
I'm telling our business or I'm putting them in a bad light. No, I'm just sharing my truth and speaking my truth and allowing my truth to be heard so that it can save somebody else's life. Even, now people emailing me, they sending me messages, man, young lady, I love your story. Your story
Uh,
inspires me. So don't worry
inspired me
about what they
too.
say. Like I said, go where you celebrate it and not where you tolerate it. And one thing about it, Demarcus, I will say, I applaud you, man. You could be doing, our people. We're
Yeah,
not
I get you.
this society is not set up for us to thrive and make it. We have to scrape and scratch for everything that we want in life. And so I applaud you, man, for making it out of your situation and choosing to do
Thank you.
better. Now I know nobody's perfect and I don't want to put you on too high of a pedestal, but I do
I
want to
ain't
give you
perfect,
your flowers and let you know, man, you're a king and you got a crown on your head and you're rocking it oh so well, and keep doing that shit. Don't worry about
and
what
I'm gonna
nobody
give
else has
you,
to say.
and I'm gonna give you your flowers as well, cause you 32 years old. Like I don't know no motherfucker that's 32 that's out there that got all the shit accomplished what you got accomplished. And I know this not the end for you. And so I'm gonna ask you,
Mm.
I know we came up on our 30 minutes, like what's next for you and how can the people find you and know more about you? Like, cause you dope as a
I'm just
motherfucker.
gonna
I'm just
keep
gonna say
pushing,
that.
keep out there, keep putting my book out there and promoting my book. I'm more so on YouTube. I'm trying to build subscribers, and so everybody out there is listening and watching. Please go to my YouTube channel, Difference World YT. Come and learn and hit the subscribe button for your girl and come and learn about me. I'm more than just one option. I like to say I'm an eclectic woman. I talk about on my YouTube channel. You'll see I have a schedule. I do motivation. I do social awareness. I drop my podcast interviews. I do pop culture reviews. I also, share my travel adventures on Fridays. I just dropped my adventures to Cairo. Did one for Aruba. I got a whole bunch of them, so that's why you got to go to Difference World and hit the
Mm,
subscribe. But you come and learn about your girl. Also, you guys can go to my website, differenceworld.net, and check out my other social media handles, my Instagram, my Twitter. I'm trying to learn TikTok so I get up on that mug, but I think TikTok is for the youngest, if you will, like
yeah.
people that I'm not a dancer like that. So, and I tried it when they
Yeah.
first, started it, but I got what was that song Renegade they had going on. By the time I got
Yeah.
halfway through the dance moves, they moved on to another one. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna stick with what I know.
Right.
So, yeah, but go to my website and you guys can book me for any type of motivational speaking events you'd like for me to be a part of. I'm free of charge as of now. You would just go to my website, differencewell.net, and book me. As well as you guys can get a copy of my book, What If? A Controversial Paradigm Shift, on my website. And again, remember that What If was written to encourage and inform thought provoking conversations about injustice in America and systemic racism, and it's done through graphic and provocative illustrations. So be advised that it is sensitive content. It's intended for a mature audience. And so if you can't take this type of heat, get your fire breaker and still come on to the kitchen because
Still
we
come in the kitchen. I like that.
will have that
Get your fire
conversation. And
extinguisher as
so
well too.
with that too, whatever you need. And then and as well as again just going to my YouTube channel and hitting that subscribe button. I do appreciate all the love and support that I am getting. I also want to take this time to, give my mother a shout out in heaven. Vernchelle Raynette Shenever, I love you so much, and everything I do and everywhere I go, I'm gonna represent for you and hold it down and make sure they know your name. And so I love you, Ma, and I know you up there watching over your
That,
girl, and continue to rest on and get your sleep. Um, and everybody else
man.
out there, like I said, when it comes to that mental health, just remember to keep it in check and get it in check. Whatever you went through as a child, as an adult, it may have not been your fault. It may have been out of your control, but as an adult, and you're the one that's left holding the bag, it's on you to go fix. Don't expect nobody to come back and mend that broken heart because they done moved on to their next victim. So it's on you to get that fixed. And so I don't want to keep rambling on, man. So, but just thank you
Man,
again,
that's
DeMarcus, for having me.
no, thank
Hope I
you
get
for
another
coming
invite to
on.
come back. I do appreciate it, man. And everybody out
Definitely.
there, just remember whatever it is in life that you believe in that you're destined for, you have to manifest, plan, and prepare for it, and it will surely come to you guys. Difference will come and learn.
I like them. Y'all heard what she said. She gave all her social media platforms. She gave her website. She gave her YouTube channel. Everybody that's gonna watch this on replay, who's tuning in now, man, y'all go like, subscribe to her, cause I'm finna like, subscribe, and I'm gonna tap in, and I'm telling y'all, man, do the same for me, man. I'm doing this for y'all,
Hmm.
and if y'all got something y'all want me to talk about or discuss, feel free to reach out, man. Don't. I'm a friendly person. I'm just not that friendly. If you get what I'm saying,
Right? Can't
man.
be
I
too
appreciate
friendly with
y'all,
me, but
man. Thank y'all for viewing in, man, and subscribe, like, comment, and let me know what y'all think about this. Anything else you got to say different?
Joy to the world. The Lord has come.
Joy to the world. I say we're
All
gonna leave
right.
it at that.
Yeah, for
You
sure.
too.